Okay guys, if you're watching this video, it means you've got an interest in motorbikes or you're thinking about starting to learn how to ride one. I'm going to give you the basic lesson. Bikes are pretty easy really once you get used to the controls. A little bit different than a car, but the same fundamentals. And so, believe me, once you get riding these things, they are fantastic machines. I can just give you a quick scan around the bike before I go through the controls and show you what's what. Like I said, all the bikes pretty basic, similar sort of thing: gears, clutch, throttle, and away you go. On the left hand side of your bike you have got two controls, one being the clutch at the top left, similar to a car. Clutch goes in, gear changes, clutch comes out. You've got the same sort of bite as well as what you get on a car. Down the left hand side down here is your gear selector. That's 1 down and 5 up, and I'll go into a little bit more detail of what that means in a second. Going over to the right hand side, starting at the top, completely opposite to the clutch, you've got your front brake. Yeah, front brake accompanied by your rear brake, which is just by your foot pedal. Yeah, your front brake will do the majority of the braking and the back is there to support. It's probably about a 70-30, 60-40 split, something like that. And then you got the all important throttle. They go faster throttle. Yeah, nice and easy, nice basic stuff. Now going back to the gears, where it's a little bit different, where it can throw people. This bike is a 1 down and 5 up. What that basically means is first gear is all the way down to the bottom. So with your clutch in, yeah, tapping the gear select right down to the bottom as far as it will go, will get you into first. After first, gear selected up to second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. So that's 1 down, 5 up. Now just to complicate things just a little bit more on the bikes, between first gear all the way down and second gear, halfway to what's called half a click, is neutral. So if you're going from first to second, you need to make sure that you get the gear selector into position 2 to go off, otherwise you're going to hit neutral, which is what I've done a couple of times. So right the way down, all the way to 1, bring it up for second, third, fourth, fifth. Now it's not like a car gearbox where you can select from, you can go fourth to second if you're going around a bend or whatever it may be. These things have to be placed all the way down into the gear that you want. Yeah. Come back up to the top. We've got your, on the left hand side, you've got your lights. So your low beam is always on a motorbike. High beam, yeah, press it down, you got a flash. Underneath you got a horn. You've got your start switch, your hazards and your kill switch. What your kill switch basically is, if something goes wrong, kill off the bike, completely kills the engine. Same sort of thing as pulling the key. So to start the car, start the bike, yeah, key turned in, ignition on, and fire up. Nice and easy, yeah. So on the left hand side, you've got clutch, gear selector. Right hand side, front brake, yeah, right brake to help, accelerate. Nice and easy. Let's fire this thing up and we'll have a little driving lesson, see what it looks like. Now, in a similar vein as starting a car, when you start it up you want to make sure that you're in neutral. Yeah. So on goes the ignition switch. You can see just under the camera now I am in, as you can see, a deserted car park. It is after hours on a business park, so it is safe for me to have the speedo covered because I'm not going on the main roads just yet. Just for the purpose of this, I'm using the other camera so you can see exactly what I'm doing in terms of head movement and things. So as you can see down the bottom, just under this bit, you can see I've got neutral, yeah, or you can look on the gear shifter there. Same sort of thing, fire it up, engine starts. Now as a safety thing, I've still got, if you can see down there, the stand is still down. And as a safety thing on all bikes, if I was to pull the clutch in and select first, the bike cuts out. And the bike's cutting out, so I can't drive away with that stand, clip a curb, clip the floor and come off. So the bike will not move in gear while that stands down. So if I kick the stand back up I've got the balance, fire the bike, there we go, and we are ready to rock and roll again. So on this bike I've actually flipped the mirrors to the bottom, and I did say why in another video. Have a look at the other video of flipping it, because what I found when the mirrors were up here on the stalks, my shoulders were getting in the way. Since I've put the mirrors down the bottom and in my riding position, I don't know if you can see, I am leaning, so it does get my body because I'm leaning into the mirrors, but in a neutral position when I'm riding I got much better visibility through my sides. Now it's not for everybody, I prefer it. It's only been a week or so since I did it, but yeah, certainly the best choice for me. Anyway, back to riding this bike. So same as a car, if I want to do it, if I want to move, in goes the clutch, down to the bottom, all the way down to the bottom. So I've got first, foot on the peg, accelerate, feel the bite, and away I go. Nice and easy. Now with motorbikes you get what's called a wet clutch, which means I'm actually holding the clutch in now. The clutch isn't fully out. Because it's a wet clutch, it means I can do this without burning the clutch out. Within a car, if you did it, you'd soon start smelling a burning smell, and you'll burn your clutch. Whereas if I was to let the clutch fully out, right away. Yeah, nice and easy. Still in first gear. Just doing a little lap of the car park. Nice and easy, nice and easy. Open up the throttle a little bit more, get a little bit of speed. Now in first gear again, because I've slowed down, I can hold the clutch to get the bite again and let it out when I feel comfortable, and away I go. Now first gear, although I've got my hand over this brake, I don't really use it in first gear, especially going at speeds like that. The brake that I will use is the bottom one, and there's a couple of reasons on that one. If you use the front brake while you're in first gear, I'll see if I can give you the demo. If I just use the front brake, it's sort of, the bike will dive to an angle or a different position, and you can quite easily come off. With the rear brake, hitting that, it actually brings the bike back up. So if you're leaning and hit the rear brake alone, it actually brings the balance back up. So when you come to your mod ones and you're doing your figure eights, it's a good one to have, because I'm tapping the back brake now. Let me show you it again. I'll go around this car. So as I go around this car, I start dipping a little bit and pulling the brake, it actually pulls me back up, which is a good thing for your mod one when you're doing your figure eight or your U-turn. If you feel the bike is going a little bit out of control, you can either pull the clutch in and feed it back out slowly, or hold the clutch. Although I've got the clutch there, doesn't matter how much I rev the bike, I'm not going anywhere, because I've got the bite of the clutch exactly where I want it to keep that speed. I have fed the clutch out there, that's why I went a little bit quicker. Again, only using the rear brake as I go around. Pick up a little bit of speed, get comfortable on the bike, clutch in, rear brake, down to a stop. Yeah, nice and easy, and that's the basics of the bike really. That's how we get to move. So still in first gear, pulling off. Want to get second gear, up to the top, and I got second gear. Yeah, again, if I want to go down to the bottom, first gear, pick up first gear again, away we go. Very simple, very easy. Yeah, and it's up to me how much I want to let the clutch out, how much I want to pull the accelerator, pull the throttle. Yeah, and away we go. Bikes are actually built to stay up. The centre of gravity is low and, well, quite central, which means they're not going to topple over unless really pushed. So when you see these sports bikes on the side, the reason is, well, two things. There's the inertia that's keeping them up, and there's the tyres as well. So the tyres on these bikes, although they may only look small in comparison to a car, they're built to compress. So when you turn on a bike, the front tyre actually compresses down and becomes wider on the bend, which means you've actually got more grip around the bend than what you have straight. Although that doesn't make more sense, you got more width of the tyre round the bend, as long as you've got the right pressure, than what you have on a straight line. And that's why when you see people going down, well, I wouldn't say knees to the floor, especially on the road, but if you see people holding onto the bike with the knees, so the knees holding on as they turn, that's why they can do it, because the bikes are built to do that. The tyres are built to compress and grip the road. Very grippy tyres on motorbikes. I'll just go around here, do a couple more loops. Turning the bike is always one where I've seen a lot of people, especially when I was doing my lessons when I first started, people will worry about turning the bike, thinking they got to turn it like this. Now obviously you could be doing speeds 30, 40, 50 mile an hour or more, 70 on the motorways, whatever it may be. Turning a handlebar like this will not work. You have to lean the bike. If you don't lean the bike, you won't turn. Now turning a handlebar like on a push bike is fine in here. Yeah, I've got no choice really. If I lean here, I'm not going quick enough for the bike to stay up. So you have to turn the handlebars. But normally if I pick up a little bit of speed and I lean in, yeah, away we go. We turn round, no problem at all. I don't want to turn the handlebars. I'll do another video after this about counter steering. Counter steering is so important when it comes to riding a bike. It's also really good to get your confidence as well. Learn how to counter steer, get the confidence in counter steer. It'll certainly make your riding a lot more enjoyable. When you're doing slow maneuvers on a motorbike, where your head goes, the bike will follow. If you do not turn your head when you're going round a bend, so this bend that's coming up now, this would be like I'm coming out of a junction. So there's a T-junction, I'm going to do a right. If I don't turn my head and just try and turn the handlebar, I'm not going anywhere. I'll try and give you an example now and hopefully not fall off. So if I'm looking straight and I'm trying to turn, yeah, I'm a bit off balance as I'm going round, because I'm looking straight and I'm trying to turn. Okay, what you have to do is take a look at where you're going, and automatically the bike is nice and smooth and goes where you want it to go, especially on a U-turn. So if you're doing a U-turn and you don't look where you're going, it's quite hard to make that gap if I'm just looking straight. Make a U-turn and move your head where you need to do it, and this is part of your mod 1. Yeah, so as I'm going straight, I know where the bike is, I know what it can do, but if I turn my head, yeah, away we go. Yeah, and we are fully round, no problem at all. And it's the same as junctions. If you coming round some snake bends, or if you are at a junction, or you're on a snake road or something that's got a bend in the road, and you're looking straight instead of round the bend, you could really get yourself into trouble. You really could. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this camera down that's on the front. Bye bye. I'm going to take you down. We're going to go for a little drive. We're going to get through the gears, show you what it's all about. Okay, you can see the dial in front of me. The camera's gone. Now with a residue behind it. Make sure I'm all strapped up. My gloves are on. I'm in neutral. I've got a junction. I'm going to go out. I'm going to go left. I'm going to a little tour of Ormskirk. You lucky guys are going to have a look at where my hometown is. We'll have a ride about in through different speeds, different gears, see how we cope, even on a hill. And we'll see how we get on. Okay, first gear, down we go. Make a turn, look where I'm going. And we are out of here. Get the clutch, because I was still moving. Hold the clutch as I come out the junction. And I'm away. So I've got a mini roundabout coming up. Drop it down to second gear. Oh, there's a car coming. Okay. Okay. Turn your head where you want to go, and we're away. Turn ahead again. Look down the street, and I'm off. Now it is a 20 mile an hour down here, so I want to keep the speed low. See how we get on. Bit of a hill coming up. See if I can get a hill start, but there's not many cars on the road. The visor down. A few flies about. It's a nice evening. So I'm holding third gear at the minute. I've got a car behind me who wants to get past. I'm holding third gear. No problem at all. Same as a car. There's the popos. Same as a car, if it started to struggle a little bit up the hill, drop it down a gear, hold your clutch. Remember, it's a wet clutch, so feed it out slowly. Another thing with a motorbike I should mention is you need to remember to turn your indicators off, because they don't turn off automatically. So as I'm riding in a straight line, they're still on, and it looks like I'm turning into a junction, which I'm not. So always turn your indicators off. So there's a bit of a sharp bend coming up down here, so I'm going to go from 4th to 2nd, clutch in, 2 brakes, tap down twice, that takes me to 2nd, follow the line with my head, feed it out slowly, and I'm away. Now the more experience you get on riding a bike, the more natural you become, the quicker you'll go around the bends, more confidence. So what I'm doing here as well, see, I'm just doing it automatically without telling you what I'm doing, is before I get to the lights, get yourself into 1st gear, because you don't want to be stuck at the lights in 2nd or 3rd, because like I said, it's not like a car gearbox, a manual gearbox, where you can just quickly jump into 1st no matter what you stopped at. On a motorbike, you've got to tap it down, and if you don't tap it down, it ain't gonna work. So tap tap tap, still got my indicator on, all the way down, and stop. Now when you stopped at a junction, make sure it's your left foot that goes down and your right foot stays up. One of the reasons is he trying to come in here? Go on. One of the reasons is your foot is on the right hand side where your back brake is, which will stop you moving, and it'll also help you as you're pulling away. So into 2nd, where am I going? I'm going down there. Look where I'm going. Straighten up into 3rd, mosey along. Nod to the cyclist, down to 1st. One thing that helped me, a big tip, and it's pretty much what I'm doing now, is talk to yourself as you're riding when you're starting out, whether you're on lesson, because he'll have an intercom but he won't be able to hear you. So while you're on your lesson, start talking to yourself. When you're on your test, talk to yourself. What am I doing? I'm braking and dropping down the gear, go into 1st gear, up into 2nd gear. Indicate, turn my indicators off. You'll get a minor if you don't turn your indicators off, because it will look like you're going into a junction, so it's very dangerous on a bike. Tell you what, quite a few flies bouncing around my visor tonight. So just talk to yourself what you do. Look at your speed. We're on a 30, how fast am I going? Okay, I'm going too fast, I need to slow down. Round the roundabout. I am over exaggerating a little bit, just to show you what I mean by looking around the bend. Where the head goes, the bike will follow. Always remember that one. I seen a guy who was on one of our lessons, I had a 650 Kawasaki that we were out with. It was a lovely bike, green it was. He went right into, as he was going round the bend, he was looking sort of just ahead of him. He was looking ahead of him instead of where he was going, and he came off, went through a bush, and that was it. All his confidence went. He didn't want to ride again, and it was just a silly mistake. He was a little bit tired, or maybe a little bit overconfident, whatever it may be, but he wasn't doing the basics. And the basics are, on a bike, where you look, the bike's going to go with you, and it's the same on a push bike. Okay, so this is Holborn Hill, so it is 40 up here with a camera coming. It's just a very, very basic raw machine that's just a pleasure to ride. And once you get past the initial fear of coming off, or whatever it may be, you know, I might have a fear of the speed, because certainly when you get up to speed, there is wind noise, and like you can hear in my voice, it bouncing as I go over, you know, these little humps in the road. You hear my voice change because you feel it so much more than what you do in a car. A car's built for comfort, but a bike's built for pleasure. And that's why you get such an allegiance to these bikes, because it's a thrill when you go out, as long as you stay safe. It really is. I'll turn left here actually, because it's only a bypass down there, which is a bit boring. So I'm in 5th gear now, clutch in, go to 2nd, sorry, as a turn. Where am I going? Round a tight bend, lean, 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 and away we go. Indicator off, up to 3rd, round the bend, mosey on. Give him a bit of space. So I'm just talking to myself like I would do on a test. Give him a bit of space into 2nd. Is he going to turn? Yep. And off we go. Thanks again guys for watching. I'm hoping you found this video useful. If you are looking to get into riding or about to start, remember the motorcycles are designed to be ridden and to go around the bends, and they're not designed to make you fall off. So do be safe out there. And if you did like the video, please like and subscribe. Maybe even leave me a comment or a question, or even an idea for another video. Ta-ra for now.